Using boulders or large rocks in the landscape can be both aesthetically pleasing as well as beneficial for soil erosion and creating difference in grades and elevations in the landscape. We use these large rocks to create changes in elevation through either large steep slopes or even slow gradual slopes. There's two solutions to creating walls in your backyard or your landscape: use of large boulders or the segmented wall block that you see in a lot of places. There's two different installation patterns and techniques, as well as different selection of block. The segmented block becomes a little bit easier because it's already cut, preset. A lot of them are interlocking, so it locks in it itself, and compared to boulders or larger rocks that have many different sizes, shapes, faces, cuts on them, making it a lot more difficult and a lot more time consumption in setting those larger walls. With selection of the larger rocks, you're going to be looking for different sizes and shapes, as well as colors even in the selection. With those different sizes and shapes, you're going to create a wall that's not as boring to look at aesthetically, as well as going to be a lot more difference in the lines, and you're not going to have lines throughout the wall that line up. It's going to be a lot more natural looking wall, as well as aesthetically pleasing. When you start to stack these, a rule of thumb is to bury these rocks about 2/3 of their shape into the ground. When you do that, it becomes a little bit more natural looking. Not many rocks are just set right on top of the soil surface. So burying these rocks slightly into this ground, you make a more natural look. Starting from the bottom up, you're going to be starting with their bottom course, not in a directly straight line, but maybe patchworking here and there, so that way you don't create level lines all the way up your wall. You can do this by using different sizes of rocks, as well as burying larger rocks at different depths. Once you get your bottom course set, it's kind of just a Lego game of trying to work your way up the hill, as well as making sure you don't have any solid lines or seams, so to say, through your wall. As the concept of right plant, right place, larger rocks and boulders have that concept that applies to them as well. Though segmented wall block can be a little bit easier to use and somewhat easier to set, the larger boulders and limestone have a more natural and a softer face to them.